If you want the freedom to control your mind and decide how you feel, even amid despair, return to your root. Just imagine for a moment, even if it seems bonkers, that you are responsible for everything. I mean, from the stars in the sky to the birds flying outside the window, look around you now as if everything that exists, you chose it for yourself and could change it in the blink of an eye whenever you wanted. This is the consciousness of what I call spiritual responsibility. The realization that all circumstances, all events, are of your own creation. You've only hidden the fact. You've only hidden that fact from yourself till now. If you suddenly remembered that you were responsible for everything, how would you handle despair? Would you stay in anguish? Or would you decide to feel differently right now? I believe you would return to your root. I'm not talking about where you're from. I'm talking about who you are. The root is the source of existence itself. It is God. And since God is infinite, one with all things, including you, returning to your root is returning to your true self. And your true self is awareness. You, awareness, do more than simply notice things, you also create them. Once you really get that, two things will happen. One, you'll see that you're responsible for everything that happens in your reality, including your suffering. And two, you'll suddenly have everything you ever wanted. For the tools of awareness give you power over reality. Here's an experiment. Let's say you're really going through it right now. You wake up every day wishing for the end of the day. The job feels like slavery. You're pulling teeth to get that business off the ground. You don't see light at the end of the tunnel, and on top of that, the person you love the most just called you a bum. I'd like to introduce you to something I call conscious transformation technologies, or KITs. These are tools to help you take spiritual responsibility for your reality. One of my favorite kits is a visualization device called zero gravity technique. To use it, return to your root and awareness. Take awareness right now into all those problems spinning inside of your head, right now, where you are. Recall that job you don't want to go to, those bills you don't want to deal with, those problems you don't want to face. Now imagine you have a special dial available to you in your mind. If you turn the dial to the right, all the gravity in your memories disappears. That means every person, place, artifact in your memory that you have becomes light as a feather. In your mind's eye, turn that dial to the right now. Everything in your mental scene begins to levitate. Witness every negative person, idea, situation, and unpaid bill become buoyant like balloons. That person that hurts you, watch their feet lift off the ground. Along with all the sofas, the lights, the fixtures, everything that existed in your memory is now floating above you weightless. How do you feel now as you see everything and everyone light and airy to the touch, while you alone remain grounded? What happens when you make the weight of your problems weightless, when nothing holds heavy on you anymore? Notice how you change the meaning of your problem from leaden to light, downgraded from burden to just right. Whether you know it or not, when you put awareness on your negative memories, you stepped into your power to decide how they would affect you. And when you can choose how your memories affect your life, you create peace on demand. You are not misleading yourself here. Creating inner peace at will means you can continue forward when others say stop, produce when others say wait, find a way when others say there ain't one, and get true freedom. That's freedom on the inside and out. That's peace and prosperity. For you are now taking spiritual responsibility for your reality. That is the unspoken divine power of awareness. And it is yours if you return to your root. You are God. Know it so. Why should you stress? Just let it go. Why should you fret? Just take your throne. Stand in 3 powers of your own. Remember 3 powers of your own. You have 3 powers. Returning to your root delivers 3 powers to end all suffering. They are who you are, how you feel, and what you create. You wield these 3 powers wonderfully when you reprogram the software of your mind. And that software is called belief. Just like computer software are programs that determine the actions your PC will take, beliefs are programs in your mind that determine the actions you will take. Belief is the mother of all suffering. Every thought of suffering you've ever had was only possible because of a negative belief you've had about one of your 3 powers, about who you are, how you feel, or what you create. Let's talk about power number 1 first. Your first power is your ability to decide who you are, for you will create the reality that matches your opinion of yourself. Believe yourself a limited person, fighting anxiety, who's stuck in life, unsure of true purpose, and your actions will reflect that opinion. You won't be taking any chances. Anxious, stuck people don't take chances. Because what if it fails? What if the risks don't pay off? Can you see how negative questions follow negative beliefs about who you are? Define yourself as eternal awareness instead, and your possibilities become infinite. As consciousness, you can produce anything you need when you need it. Consciousness does not know limits, does not recognize problems as permanent obstacles, is not anxious in crowds, does not feel inferior or superior to other folks, because it never knows other folks, only you. Anytime you sense suffering in your life, check your beliefs about who you are. Do you see yourself as a limited, tiny person who's always overlooked, always behind in life, unworthy of your dreams? Or are you an expansive divine self, capable of producing what you would at will? Anytime you sense emotional pain, use the conscious transformation technologies I have for you today. These kits are called higher reprogramming questions because they reprogram negative beliefs with higher vibration beliefs, freeing you from suffering. Here's the first higher reprogramming question. How would you see your suffering differently were you God, the loving creator of all things? Ask yourself the question and do not doubt your answer. Honor the divine strength that flows to you. Look upon your world now as if you were a higher being capable of stepping out of suffering right now. Right now. So that you can know power number 2. Power number 2 is you decide how you feel. For you alone are responsible for your emotions. Emotions are symptoms of belief. Negative emotions come from the belief that this is wrong and I don't like what's going on here. Maybe they did overlook your talent and hard work. Maybe you did make a horrific mistake. Maybe you were left to survive on your own. But must you believe any of that stands in the way of your happiness or success? Just because a situation happened, do you need to make it wrong for happening? It simply is. When you handle the belief that something is wrong, you remove negative emotional baggage immediately. There's no need for inner resistance. No need to make yourself, another person, or the circumstance into a problem. The next time you sense suffering, check what you believe is wrong about your situation. Then ask the second higher reprogramming question like this. What if this situation is actually happening for me? Pretend that the challenge has been designed by your deeper self to help you grow. It's showing you how to use more of your spiritual power so that you stand in more of your purpose, more of your infinite ability, more of your immaculate strength, not less. Power number 3, you decide what you create. For everything in your reality are outer expressions of your inner impressions. What the ancients called faith and manifestation is simply your ability to create reality directly. Faith depends on your ability to believe as true in your internal world that which you wish to see in the external world. Which means when things go wrong on the outside, it's because of something you've mismanaged quietly on the inside, giving belief to problems instead of solutions. Anytime you sense situations getting out of control, ask yourself, what am I choosing to believe or focus on that's creating this situation? Are you focused on the problem, the low funds, the waning prospects, the people who don't call you, the mistakes you made, a system that harasses? Or are you focused on the solution? If you would but say, I'm so grateful the perfect solution is here for me now, and believe it, you would see a miracle today. If you're a real one, you'll say it with me. I am so grateful the perfect solution is here for me now. If you can't believe that that's true, no problem. Imagine if it were. What if it were true? Here's the third higher reprogramming question. What would it feel like if the perfect solution was here for me now? The positive feeling of what if will show you the way to solution without suffering. The very frequency of feeling will lead you to new ideas, new perceptions about what new actions to take and which ones no longer serve you. You won't even touch a thought if it doesn't match your higher vibration, if it doesn't resonate with your new frequency. Won't be any energy left for suffering. You'll only have energy for perfect solutions that match your positive frequency of feeling. Can you believe how blessed you are? Honoring your three powers, who you are, how you feel, and what you create, is taking spiritual responsibility for your whole reality. You can only experience anxiety when you do not trust yourself. The real work is finding the you should trust. If you only think of yourself as a person born on a certain date, who's richer or poorer than somebody else, and feels that you lack a certain something compared to others, then you will be trapped by fear and anxiety wherever you go. Stuck in what will they think of me and what if I can't survive land. But what if you saw yourself as the whole of existence instead of just a person? Not in thought, but in your every waking experience of living. Would you worry what other people thought of you if you knew you were the entire universe and more? Would dying make you nervous if you felt yourself as one with eternity? All anxiety drops away when you remember who you really are. Maybe you left your job thinking you could do better, only to find there were no jobs when you reached for a better one. That's what happened to me in March of 2020. Global pandemic shut down Earth right after I left my sales position over, we'll call it a disagreement with management. Now I couldn't get a job, and I was stressed as hell. Would have gone on unemployment, but the office said, sorry, Mr. Smith, it appears you left your job on your own accord in February. These benefits are only for those who've been displaced by the March pandemic. I had no safety net, no one coming to help me, no insight. I only had the truth, this truth, that God and consciousness are one. One afternoon, armed with only this understanding, I sat on my couch, and for the first time since I was 5 years old, I began to imagine infinity. I saw myself as a multi-dimensional being existing across timelines. Somewhere across cosmos, there was a version of myself who looked like me, talked like me, dressed how I wanted to dress, who had already conquered my anxiety over checking my bank statement, had already solved my money problems. Different in time and space, but united in universal consciousness. If I could just access his wisdom, maybe I could fix my life. Eyes closed, I began to see and feel myself as that mature version of myself. Quickly, questions I wouldn't have thought to ask appeared to my mind. Choices I wouldn't have thought to make became real to me. Within 6 months, I had replaced my salary with my own business. Within a year, I had centupled it. I was 31. If you're watching this, I suspect you already know the truth of your divinity. I suspect you recognize that it's impossible to be alive without consciousness, and that awareness is more than just a byproduct of the brain's neurons. Even if you were deaf, you would still be aware of silence. Even if you were blind, you would still be aware of darkness. Awareness remains even when all mental perceptions disappear. That's why there's nothing beyond it. There is no universe or you apart from consciousness. And I'm not saying the universe is conscious. I'm saying that what is called the universe is but a single drop in the larger ocean of supreme awareness. And you are that ocean, containing uncountable drops, infinite universes. Everyone that exists or will exist is but another aspect of eternal you. That means the same you that can hear these words is the same you that is now speaking these words. Do not be fooled by forms, by the fact that it looks like there are 8 billion other people on the planet and that you are but one. I can assure you, there is only you. Across galaxies and star clusters, only you. However many universes, however many solar systems or parallel dimensions, reality is always one. Reality is always one. Are you ready to explore this fact for yourself? Try this kit from the non-dual tradition. This conscious transformation technology, I call it true mind immersion. It goes like this. Instead of seeing yourself as a body, decide to see yourself as awareness. Look around your environment, not as a person, but as consciousness. Become aware of what the eyes see, of what the ears hear. Notice how emotions, sight, sound, sensations are always coming and going, but you, awareness, remain the same. Awareness is aware when anxiety arises. Awareness is aware when anxiety disappears. The hum of traffic is here 1 minute and drowned out by the TV the next. Notice. The sight of daylight is here 1 minute, but slowly fades to dusk. See. The body is flesh 1 minute, but disappears during sleep. Watch. All things change. Only you, awareness, remains the same. There is a calm you feel when you no longer consider yourself just a body to protect or defend. When circumstances no longer dictate your belief in yourself. You are taking spiritual responsibility for who you are and forming a higher trust in a force that never fails, never leaves, nor forsakes. Give yourself this eternal gift of freedom from anxiety. Honor it daily and watch how you and your life transform forever. There is an abundant forever peace within you that you can experience at all times. It alone conquers all fear. It is the scent of bliss you wear once you've returned to your divine root. I call it the Idon mind. The Idon mind is the consciousness that represents the simple phrase, I don't mind. To have lasting freedom from worry and unshakable peace, you must arrive at the psychological place where you can say, I don't mind to what's happening and mean it. Become neutral in the face of opposition. You can only worry when you believe a future circumstance is bigger than God, that the situation will be too difficult for you to handle, that you won't have the courage, the skills, or the support to scale the challenge, and that it's coming to crush you. It's the belief in the thought, what if this destroys me? Or what if I don't have what it takes? That makes you worry. To know that piece of psychology is a great start, but be warned. If you try to fight or push worry out your mind, that fight never ends. You succeed only in supplying more doubt, more anxiety, more uncertainty to your environment. Instead, I have a better solution for you. Cease your assault on worry entirely. For your battle is not with worry, but with belief. In the belief that a certain outcome needs to happen, and you'll never worry about what does or doesn't happen. Let it go. You can let it go. You don't need a certain outcome to happen to be happy. Be happy regardless. You don't need a certain outcome to happen to be powerful. Be powerful regardless. You don't need a certain outcome to happen to be wealthy. Be wealthy regardless. You don't need a certain outcome to happen to live the life you've always dreamed. Live that life regardless. You don't need a certain outcome to happen to love every moment of your life fully. Love it regardless. When your peace and power are no longer dependent on how events should turn out, how circumstances should unfold, what people would think, what they would say, or what you would lose. The worried mind falls into the quiet of the I don't mind. I'm not saying lay down and just take whatever life throws at you. I'm saying control your emotional reactions so you can identify the right solution for you. When you can access the I don't mind at will, you choose which emotions are in your reality. That's because you're finally in position to decide how you feel with clear understanding. Are you ready to achieve freedom from worry through the I don't mind? Then first return to your root. Return to your root in awareness. When worrisome thoughts and emotions arise for you, and they will, just be aware of them without clinging to them or being carried away. Simply allow the thought or emotion to exist without adding belief to it. Get in touch with what's happening in your mind. Then use this kit, this conscious transformation technology. It's called Click X and Delete. Since all worry depends on belief, I want you to imagine your belief as a substance you can move and manipulate with your mind. Whenever a worrisome thought or feeling arises, become aware of it. Imagine your belief is a little X stuck to the thought in the upper right-hand corner, like a web browser. In your mind's eye, click the X to immediately cancel belief from that thought right now. Right now. Take a moment to notice how you feel. Take a moment to notice how that feels. Now, no matter how long the thought that used to cause alarm lingers or how soon it disappears, it is no longer impacting your reality. And it's no longer worry. The thought is just a mental sound or picture. The emotion just a slight sensation in the body. You've rendered them harmless because you've stripped them of your belief. The moment you recognize that you are your source of peace and power and are unaffected by circumstance, you will have accessed the new freedom of the I don't mind. It is the most essential skill. If this seems like hard work, then know this. This is the work that builds the mind into a paradise. For the I don't mind lets you take spiritual responsibility of how you feel and sets the stage for everything you will create. Whatever you create from the I don't mind, the place of inner peace, will be in alignment with clarity and your true purpose. You are no longer affected by the world around you, but instead, you affect the world from your highest vibration. You do not have a money problem. There's no such thing. I'm saying you do not have a money issue. That issue doesn't exist. It's an illusion. For what looks like a shortage of money is only really a shortage of trust, a shortage of divine reliance on the root of existence. The ancients understood that human beings could fashion circumstances and environments out of a power source far beyond reason and logic alone. They understood that where the logical mind could not deduce an answer, the spiritual mind could effortlessly produce a perfectly tailored solution. Many cultures have called this power by many names. In the West, we call it faith. Faith is simply your ability to consciously create what you want at will. Faith is manifesting or pulling your visions, ideas, thoughts, and feelings into physical form. When you realize that every situation, circumstance, moment of reality is the play of consciousness, your consciousness, you come to see that you are creating each experience just like you do in your dreams. In dreams, you easily construct buildings, other people, entire conversations, skies, worlds, animals. You completely forget who you were when you fell asleep. Every single person you meet in a dream feels real to you. But all those people, all those places, all those things are only made up of your consciousness. They are your manifestations. They are only you. The same is true for the moment that you're experiencing right now. You are creating this very moment right now, including the words in this video and the pictures on your screen. Once you understand this, creating success is just as easy as creating failure. Creating the life situation you want is just as easy as creating your next breath. Learn to see everything as if you are the one creating it. Then you will realize that your manifestation talents, your gifts for producing reality the way you want, are already superb. Like a king or queen, you are directing everything that happens in your kingdom. You do not have a money problem. Therefore, it makes no sense to work a job that isn't helping you build skills to serve your life purpose, just to put food on the table, just to survive. Your problem was never money. Don't wait another 10, 20, or 30 years to find out what I'm saying is true. And the reason you do not have a money problem is because you do not have a problem at all. You have an opportunity to learn to create what you want, to dive deeper in faith, your celestial power. I offer you this kit, this conscious transformation technology. I call it the abundant affirmation. We know that words have psychological power. Great affirmations do nothing but direct your mind toward that which you want rather than that which you're afraid of. But this affirmation will go a step further. It will allow you to recognize the wealth that already exists in your world, and so allow you to create much more of it. Here it is. Enter a quiet room or find a place alone. Get into the I-Don mind, that neutral psychological space where you can say, I don't mind to what's happening and mean it. Click the video on the screen if you need help with that. Now, repeat aloud to yourself this simple word, abundance. As you do, look upon your entire environment, your room, your home, your car, your clothes, other people, their smiles, and continue to speak abundance. Can you sense how the air you breathe, the sun in the world, the planet's gravity, the warmth of the people you love are tied to abundance? There's so much abundance. It is yours. As you repeat, sense your tremendous value. You who would still dream in color even though blind. What if the entire world belonged to you? What could you do with all of your abundance? Your talents beckon you, all the materials that exist for you to build your vision with abundance. See the applications, all the people that exist that you can help with abundance. See their faces, all the places that exist where you can play in abundance. Can you sense how there's always more? Notice how your vibration just raised. Faith attracts to you more of that which you feel. Faith attracts to you more of that which you feel. Faith attracts to you more of that which you feel. Feel abundance. It's already there. Repeat this single word affirmation 11 times per day, every day for the next 2 weeks. But most importantly, come back to this feeling every day and take note of what begins to show up in your life. Take note of any unforeseen appearances and higher changes in your circumstances. Write them down in a journal. That evidence will serve as your proof that when your spiritual world changes, your outer world must as well. This is taking spiritual responsibility for what you create. Hey, it's Dr. Shawn Smith. Be sure to watch this video. I know it will serve you.